Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to get through a few stories. WASDE, kind of neutral. Weather is bullish, and wheat has its own story here. So let's just get into it here. So, starting off with the WASDE, the one that I was paying the most attention to, but I'm going to say all of the world ending stocks decreased. So it's actually helped the market. That's for sure. So I said it was neutral, but it's maybe a little bit more bullish. But corn and soybeans are still got a huge supply, along with wheat in the world as well. But if there's anything that I can say, that it's not as bearish as it used or as it was. But one of the yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, you see, U.S. production is down on whatever class of wheat, and that's notable. So here, after the June acreage survey, the USDA corn production estimate edges up 16 billion bushels, more than 1 billion smaller than last year's record crop. However, 2026 soybean output is seen up 5% from the previous year on larger area. So that's not necessarily good at all. So you had some good and bad there. Trump is suspending the Canada trade talks of Kuzma, which is not good for us at all.
Well, I got back in my top 40 radio days because the hits just keep on coming. President Trump now announcing the United States is terminating all trade discussions with Canada effective immediately. He wrote on Truth Social, quote, "We have just been informed that Canada, a very difficult country to trade with, has just announced that they are putting a digital services tax on our American technology companies, which is a direct and blatant attack on our country. Based on this egregious tax, we are hereby terminating all discussions on trade with Canada effective immediately. We will let Canada know the tariff that they will be paying to do business with the United States of America within the next 7-day period." Thank you for your time.
Yeah, so that just keeps the hits just keep coming on the Canadian U.S. trade. Majority of our trade goes to the U.S. I don't know what Carney's doing, other than trying to get all these side hustle deals so that he can line his own pockets. But whatever. So this is the other story that's going on with wheat. You can say Russia temporarily stops the shipping through the Sea of Azov because of all the infrastructure hit on fuel and refineries. So that has increased the diesel prices substantially, and it also has stopped the wheat movement down there as well. Here, maybe a better explanation.
Morning. It all started early this morning. Yes, it is USDA report day, but that wasn't the focus of the markets. We saw buying immediately hit the energy markets and the grain and oilseed markets this morning. The energy markets kind of settled down, a little bit of strength in heating oil, which translates into diesel markets as well. Um, Corn, soybeans moved into positive territory ahead of the pause, but then slipped back into negative territory. And then during the day session, now have come back into positive territory. But the true energy is in the wheat markets, as they've shown a wide trading range today, trading above more than 20 cents higher at this hour as I make this. And the story is not the Persian Gulf. It is not the Strait of Hormuz. It is the Sea of Azov and the Kerch Strait. And little noticed or little paid attention to. We've written about it to our customers here in recent days. But the Ukraine war has really been heating up. Ukraine, first of all, has been really getting better at its drone technology and has been striking refineries deep inside of Russia, trying to curtail the fuel production that it has available to it for the war effort. Now, the fuel that it produces, it then transports, some of which goes overland, some of it goes to the Crimea Peninsula, to the front. And so Ukraine has not only been hitting the refineries, which has turned Russia from the number 2 diesel fuel exporter in the world to now an importer of fuel. Gas lines, even in Russia, are said to be hours long for consumers who are getting very frustrated with the war as a result.
Yeah, and that tension is just going to keep things going, as Arlen Suderman was saying here. Here's the jobs numbers.
Thanks, Gina. Stats Canada releasing its June jobs report this morning. It is one of the last major economic snapshots before the Bank of Canada makes its next interest rate decision. Mason Despatie joins us live. Mason, what do the numbers show?
Jefferson, the real headline is that Canada's job market continues to show signs of stability. The country added 18,000 jobs in June, while the national unemployment rate edged down to 6.5%. That's a bit stronger than the economists were expecting. Most had predicted about 10,000 new jobs and an unemployment rate holding firm at 6.6%. The report follows a very strong May when Canada added 88,000 jobs. June's gains were driven by younger and core-aged workers, while employment fell among those 55 and older. Accommodation and food services led the job growth, while manufacturing lost ground amid continued
Let's just get into the weather here. You can see extreme heat warning and heat advisory through the north here and into the east, but basically Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and North and South Dakota, Montana. I don't know if they can handle any more over there as far as moisture goes. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of a crop growing over there. So it is bullish, and you can see that this it does stay hot in the northern plains here. Without moisture. So you got a great big bullseye here on the U.S. There's no moisture, and there's some for us, but I don't think it's going to hurt us or anything. Hopefully it's not going to be extreme. But with this warmer temperature, things are going to get growing here pretty quick. So here you can see the Corn Belt, 7 days, and then 14 days. It still has some dry areas there for sure. Quick look at the market here. Canola is up a couple bucks, $7.79, just shy of $7.80. Soybean oil is up a penny at $71.01. Crude oil is up a couple or $2.33 at $73.70. Diesel fuel is up another 11 cents at $3.58. Soybeans just shy of $12 a bushel, up 8 1/4. Spring wheat just up a penny, while the hard red winter and Chicago are both down 2 cents. Corn is up 5 1/4 cents, and the Canadian dollar is just slightly up. Just have a look at this. You can see that the nice run up here, and now we're basically sitting right here at the 780, and we'll have to see how this is going to continue to trade. Not quite getting back to the highs that we made there, but we'll have to see if this will continue. Growing conditions are pretty decent in Western Canada, but we're not the only ones that are making a market here. European rapeseed is still tracking sideways here. Haven't got back to its highs were made back in May. Harvest should be on its way here, getting started here very soon, if not already started there. Soybean oil, that's that leg up that we're talking about here, but just shy of your 100-day moving average. So soybeans, trying to get back to that previous high. We are trading right around that $12 mark. If need to get some caught up on some sales, I would still suggest getting some sales made there, even though the weather does look hot there. But we'll have to play that out. But we'll see if that's going to burn up those soybeans. I'm not certain if it will here just yet. Early on in growing season, and how many times do we kill a crop? A few times in a growing season. So here's your palm oil, just tracking sideways. Here's your diesel fuel future, or crude oil, up against your medium-term 20-day moving average, and it seems to stalled out right there at the moment. So this is your fresh strikes as well. Iran and are hitting some U.S. targets, and other than some of the shadow fleet or some very evasive maneuvers to get traffic through, there's very little traffic as of right now over the weekend going through the Strait of Hormuz. This is your diesel fuel futures. We're trying to get back to those old highs here. We'll see if we can. Not that we want that, but that's just making diesel fuel more and more expensive. Here's your gasoline, driving season, of course. Canadian dollar. It's a nice tail going up here with jobs numbers and a rate announcement later this week. It's going to weigh on that decision, I'm sure. U.S. dollar in that direction. So there's a bit of economic data that's going to come out for U.S. Tomorrow. quick look at wheat. So this nice run up here. We're on the September contract. We're not at the 50-day moving average there, but we definitely are when we look at it on the DEES contract. So I'll just continue to look at the DEES, trade it through your medium-term moving average, and red at the moment. When I took the screenshot of the Kansas and the Chicago, both red, and then European rapeseed or European MATF wheat rallied up hard and pulled back here as we speak. Corn futures right at your longer term moving average, and maybe that could be a point of control or resistance there.